ITP 263, Task 6, Assignment 3, Rehabilitation. Hello, James. Thanks for coming in to Voc Rehab. Really glad to see you today. This is our third time meeting, and we've got some tasks in front of us to take care of so that we can help you in your goal of getting back to work. Tell me how things been going for you the last couple of weeks. You've been checking the newspaper and seeing if there were any jobs that you were interested in. Did you come up with any ideas for jobs that you'd be interested in?
I tried to look in the newspaper and I was calling about deaf things that I could find. I wanted to find things that I was interested in and go visit them.
So are you thinking that you're going to be working again, or are you happy being a retired person?
I've been retired for 1 year and I had surgery. Retirement's okay. They took out some things, during the surgery. It was an easy surgery, but it was 1 month of rest and relaxation to recover.
So now are you able to get around like you used to before? Are you able to drive and live life the way you used to?
Well, things have changed a little bit.
So many of the clients that I see have had some kind of a surgery or have had something wrong with their back, and they're interested in getting into some kind of work that's not going to hurt them. So what we could do, if you were interested, we could take a look at what jobs would still be open to you, even though you've had this problem with your neck. Would you be interested in looking and seeing, along with me, looking for what kind of jobs might be out there that you could do, maybe for 4 hours a day or 2 hours a day? Would you be interested in that?
I don't know. I can do some things temporarily. My neck does start to hurt. I can only stand for so long and sit for so long and lift things for so long. From my neck, it really can get warm on my neck. So temporary work, part-time is good. All day, no, I don't see myself doing that. That's a really long thing to be doing. I want to be good for the weekend so I can do stuff.
Tell me what kind of work you have done in the past. You said you've been an upholsterer?
I used to work lifting things. It was hard. The doctor asked me what was wrong a while ago. He called it something, he said it was going to affect my neck. There was surgery there on my wrist. He said it might affect that. Not sure about that again.
Tell me, did you have surgery on your hands?
No. On my neck back here. Along the vertebrae there, I think it was the second vertebrae, and it was compressing. and squeezing in on the nerves. And he needed to make some cuts here and here on the side and open that up. I feel bad in my stomach. There's also something else going on in my throat. You know, they had to remove something from there. The second one was on my throat here. It was after my neck surgery.
When you said that sometimes you do some work now around the house, what kinds of things are you doing? And what kinds of things are too hard for you to do? Do you do the laundry, for example?
I don't do hard work, lifting, heavy things. I don't do that.
Well, I'm imagining that the only kind of work that you would be able to do would need to be something where you could sit or stand or rest whenever you decided that you wanted to. And maybe a total amount of work of 4 hours a day.
Recently, I went to there was a long time when I was weak and I had to sit. I just couldn't do that. It made me feel really weak.
James, what you told me about your work history was that you worked for 30 years as an upholsterer. That's a long time. Wow. Do you miss working, or are you happy to be retired?
Again, you know, it's serious. I don't know. I can't really decide. I wouldn't mind part-time. I don't know.
When you try to work, do you try to do some upholstery jobs?
You know, temporary, not all day. Not every day either. It's hard for me, you know, it gets warm on my neck. And I think, you know, it swells and it doesn't feel very good.
Have you ever taught another person how to do upholstery?
Well, I'm not sure. You know, I guess I'm always learning. I guess I'm a little afraid. With the hammer, I'm improving that. I try and I have skills.
I'm wondering if we could find a job for you as a teacher's aide in an upholstery school. And you would be the person that could help the students when they're running into some trouble and they need some tutoring help. There's a school in this town that has a number of deaf students who are learning upholstery. And I'm thinking that you could be a very good assistant to the teacher. And those jobs are about 4 to 6 hours at a time. I think you have very beautiful language, and that the deaf students who are taking those classes would love to communicate with you in their first language of ASL.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, we'll have to look into it. I'm going to see about having one of the people that I work with make some phone calls, and I want you to make some TTY calls to all of the different campuses around this area and ask them if they have any openings for teachers' aides. You can let them know that you're working with DVR and that if you need to have an interpreter for any training time, the DVR will pay for that, unless the school can afford to do it themselves. So that'll be our next step, and let's get back together in about 3 weeks. And in the meantime, you think about what it would feel like if you were working, let's say, 4 hours, 3 days a week, as a teacher's aide in a community college. And you just try to imagine how that would be for you.
I don't have TTY. I can't type. You know, that's really difficult. I'm poor. I don't have a TTY.
Well, I can send you to the Eastern Washington Center for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing, and they can get you hooked up with a TTY. And we can also have you work with the community.
No, I don't want to do that. I have poor language. I just don't want to do that. I feel like it's bad, you know?
I have the feeling that some teacher a long, long time ago made you feel bad about your English. I think you are a very good communicator. I think you're a very successful communicator, James. And I've understood everything that you've said to me. And communication is not just the English language. And it's a struggle for anybody to talk in a language that's not their first language. So don't worry about that. If a TTY can help you and I to set up an appointment, then it's a good tool for us to use with each other. And I promise I will never criticize your English.
That's good. That makes me feel a little better.
So we'll work on those 2 tasks. The first task we'll work on is getting a TTY set up in your home and you taking some risk to feel a little more comfortable using that TTY with the darned English that it forces you to use. And I promise not to criticize you. And we'll make an appointment for our next time. And the second thing is, people in this office of DVR will make some phone calls and try to find out about some job openings for teachers' aides that have to do with upholstery and sewing. And you give some thought to how that'll work in your life, okay? And the next time we meet, it will be on the TTY, and we'll make an appointment with each other to get together, okay?
Oh, man. Guess you got me on this one. I'm here, you're here, we're having difficulty communicating.
Would you like to communicate using a letter? Writing a letter back and forth? Would you prefer that?
No. Communication, you know.
But for me to tell you when I hear about a job, or for the boss to call you and offer you a job interview, how will that communication happen at your home, James? How will we let you know? I don't think the boss is going to show up at your front door.
Oh, I guess you got me on that one. I don't know. I just don't know.
We'll talk about that again next time, okay? Thank you for coming in, James. And I look forward to seeing you again.